Hi, welcome back to Dylan Round's case. On this one, I just wanted to give my opinion to do with the psychics, those card readers, the tarot cards, all of that. I guess the spiritual side, trying to connect with either Dylan's soul if he's passed away, or trying to find answers somehow to get the location of where he's at, to find convictions of the suspects, the ones responsible, and other little details in between. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I haven't really looked too deep into those type of people, okay? But I have done with the Kenny Veach case, okay? There's quite a lot of psychic people and spiritual people there. And there was probably more of a deeper connection and purpose in that regards because Kenny was spiritual, the location was kind of spiritual. The whole case is to do with spirituality, deep links. So it made sense why people did that stuff to get information. The problem was, though, is the outcome and why it led to. It didn't help. And I'll get into a bit deeper shortly, okay? But we're applying it to Dylan Rounds. So how has information been processed? How has it been gathered? Well, okay, so when an event or something has gone down, when it's been announced on a YouTube channel, like an official news one, or just as an article on Google, it's like literally when it's happened or just after whatever happened has gone down, okay? So like a court trial with Brenner, maybe certain family members wanting things to be called off, like from the general public and stuff like that, and to do with the boots and the evidence. In terms of all the other information about all the key individual people, how things went down, timelines, backstories, motives, when, and all of that, that's by YouTubers mainly who have been physically investigating, boots on ground within the area, interviewing the people, and if not that, people that might have done podcasts and call-ins, trying to get the correct people in from that location, Lucin, Utah, I can't say it, Montello, etc., and then getting the information that way. Is it as reliable? Could it be bent? Is it all the truth? That's the thing. Information has gone back and forwards, so it has been problematic, but the same has happened directly with the family, which we'll get into in a later video, okay? What I'm getting at is that's like how information has been passed around. So where do the psychics, the card readers come in? You know, do they gather the information that's already out there, research, and then put it into their practices? Or do they do it blindly without any influence whatsoever and come up with the same findings as the people who directly investigated? If that was the case, it would seem a bit more reliable, how there is like a consensus with information and understanding of a situation, a case or person, but they never interacted, nor was there ever an influence. It was natural in their own space. So that would seem a bit more interesting and genuine. But you know, it's happened where people have known a little bit of information about somebody or an event, and they've like pretended like it's coming from that crystal ball or coming from the cards, coming from that spirit they're reaching out to, but that information already exists out there, and they've just researched and then implemented it into the video, making it seem like it's all new. You know what I'm saying? That can happen at times. Now, other times though, they'll straight out come out with new information and new details, maybe never talked about before. I don't know which are good examples to demonstrate, but I'll just use random examples which I've briefly heard of within the case. You had some mediums or card readers, psychics, talking about how, oh, I'm getting the sense that Jim Brenner is behind it all. He is responsible and he does know where Dylan is. That was like the sort of stuff being talked about. Oh, and Dylan, he is still alive. He is out there somewhere. You know, like that. Was there any other kinds of stuff? Could have been something like, oh yeah, and Dylan was driving and he went over this way and stayed over for the night. As I said, I can't remember the exact examples, but that was like how they were, that's like what they were coming out with, what they sensed, what they've been told from something which we can't physically see or feel. Well, most of us can't, you know what I'm saying? Now, is it helpful, that information? Yes, as long as it's the truth. But, you know, it's one of those things where, because the way the case is, the mystery is open to interpretation. I know people say you got to stay factual and stick to the script, but at the end of the day, the script itself keeps changing. So, you know, it kind becomes a bit messy, right? So you got to come up with your own ideas, and provided they're not too far-fetched, and reach a different understanding. So that might be why those psychics and spiritual people have come in, because that's what they're good at doing, coming up with alternative ideas and then trying to tie it in with who they're connecting to out there. Now, when it came to the Kenny Veach case, how useful were those type of people? Being honest, not really helpful at all. Any stuff they came out with, the information was already out there, or certain family already knew about it. So it was like, well, not much new, okay? And when they did come out with stuff, it was like, Kenny's in the mine shaft. You must go there. He's in danger. You need to go to the mine shaft. People have been several times. Kenny is not in the mine shaft. Or they said, oh, I can sense Kenny is in the environment. He's in that terrain out there in Jeremy Canyon. I can sense it. I can feel him wandering the desert land, lost. Or the CCTV footage in 2018 of a break-in of a Veach family healing store known as Hidden Forest or Enchanted Forest, and certain family members confirmed it was Kenny. So yeah, that kind of goes against that psychic reading, right? And then you had other psychic readings just magically coming out with coordinates of locations to search, something you might see in the Dylan Rounds case at a certain point in time. And from what the other individual said, who might have been a part of the search and rescue team who did reach out to these psychics to maybe get an alternative idea, different information. When they did go to those sites to investigate those coordinates, it wasn't successful. No one was around, no remains, nothing. So in a way, those card readers lied, or, you know, made it up, or maybe misunderstood something. So it wasn't that helpful then. Does that mean it will never be helpful? Well, I can't really say. I've not been in a situation where I've come across someone like that who has come out with key information which has helped. But you never know, it could happen. It might happen in the Dylan Rounds case. But I still think with the Kenny Veach one, there was a bit of a stronger tie because of the whole spiritual aspect with Dylan. That's not really to do with spirituality, it's just to do like with farming and like a crime case from the looks of it. Slightly less mysterious than Kenny Veach, but maybe more deeper and deep rooted with who's involved, okay? You can let me know what you think of the card readers, the psychics that come out with the information. I know, I think in the last live stream premiere, one individual called Jim, I think, mentioned briefly about certain information from a recent reading of some YouTube channel, but he didn't want to read it out because he said he might sound like a nut or something like that. I don't know. But I can understand at times that misunderstanding, or that reluctancy to maybe share certain info, because maybe some people will see the psychics and card readers as crazy people or a bit odd, because it's all mystical, and some people might see it as dark magic and other people might just think of it as a waste of time. You never know, maybe it could help at some point. Maybe you've experienced it yourself in this case, or just in a different situation or time of life, okay? You never know. So yeah, I think I'll just leave it like that. I say it's just a little brief one because of the noise going on next door. You wouldn't have heard any, I know, as I said, it's intermittent, it comes and goes. You don't know when it's gonna happen, so you're distracted because you're waiting for it, but you're also trying to do the video and talk at the same time, and then the flow's gone. I know there's always gonna be noise, you know, planes, trains, that's not the end of the world, but when it's a bit closer, okay, and you hear it in your ears, it's just annoying, okay? So that's my opinion okay, of the card readers, the psychics. They do come out with some interesting information, but it's questionable whether it's the truth or not, because their evidence or their source is the individual they're trying to contact, who isn't physically here at this moment in time. No interviews, calls, no documents, photos, media of any of that sort. It's just literally like from a voice in the mind or through the cards or the material used. That's the only way of proving it, which isn't, concrete enough. But you never know, on the odd occasion, it might work out. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.